Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode. I'm your host, Stephen G. Gaxiola, and you are listening to The Raider and the Saint.
If anybody here isn't up to it, I'm gonna give you one last chance to walk out that door right now. That's a good one, Todd. Good! That's what I wanted to hear. Because in this silver slice of heaven here are 1,984 ounces of beer. Golden, delicious beer. And no one leaves here until we finish every single last drop.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode. I am your host, once again, Stephen Gaxiola. I apologize for the camera angle. My cameraman is sick with COVID, and then he got a sty in his eye. He said he couldn't record with one eye, so I told him to take a breather. So the camera angle, the phone, everything that's going on YouTube is me doing that. So I apologize if I don't have the graphics or anything like I have been. But we're trying to do it, man. We're trying to do it over here on the podcast. So once again, I want to thank all my listeners from around the world that tune in. I want to thank all my family, friends, supporters, coworkers that tune in every week and give me the strength to come in and podcast and just grind it out, man. Podcasting is hard. It is not easy for people that want to get into podcasting. But if you want to do it and you want to prove it, go ahead, man. Step up. It's a good thing, man. I love podcasting. It has grown on me. It's helped me stay out of trouble. You know, I've been sober for so many years now, but doing this is my new drug, man. It's my new addiction, man. So before I bring in my guest today, obviously there's a big camera on him. This is episode 69. Today's date is March 14th. The year is 2021. The location, I'm back at the studio in beautiful downtown Santa Ana Historic District. My guest today, like I do every podcast, I just bring him in. My guest today, I had to bring him back. He was on episode 52. It was my 1-year anniversary of celebrating the podcast, and I really didn't get his story, or I felt like I needed the audience to get his story. So once again, I want to bring my guest today, Ars. Ars, welcome to the show, man. How are you today?
What's up, Steve? What's good, man? I appreciate you having me. I'm doing well.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Real quick, before we get started, can you put your phone on airplane mode?
I sure can.
Yeah, it causes static and all that stuff. I mean, if you need to send a text out, let them know.
No, I'm good.
Know what I mean?
Good, man.
But welcome to the show, man. It's an honor to have you on the show. We were talking earlier before the show, and I wanted to get you back on because I think you guys did a great job, you know. And I know you and Mike said, well, man, I sounded like I was drinking or drunk or, you know, having too many drinks. And that's fine. Dude, when you first start podcasting, let me tell you, I there were times I went over the limit, and people would say, hey, man, you were starting to slur and this and that. And it comes with the territory, man. It is hard to get behind a microphone, and now you got a camera here. It is hard to get behind there and do your thing, man. So, you know, I tell people, don't worry about it, man. The hardest thing is to come in and just be real without having anything in your system. So what's going on with you, man? Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Man, all is well, man. You know, we're in phase 2 of a pandemic. Phase 2, phase 3. I'm surviving, man. I'm surviving. I understand that you just recently told me you went through your ordeal with COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been surviving. So luckily I've been blessed to not, me or my family, man, been blessed to not have that touch us like that. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, things is well. Can't complain, man. One day at a time, you know?
Yeah, you got to take it one day at a time, man.
Yeah.
Like I told you on text message that I got COVID and almost passed away. I don't know if you got to listen to the podcast that I sent you.
You know, it's funny, to be completely honest, Steve. When I told you, I listened to 8 minutes of it exactly, and I got sidetracked. And had to do
it's
something
hard.
else. But I mean, I ain't gonna front and say I listened to the whole thing, but I listened to 8 minutes of it, man. And I was getting to the part where you was talking about, you know what I'm saying?
It was a crazy experience, man. people have called me and I haven't talked to in a while, concerned, because word gets around. When I say it, I usually don't talk a lot about my personal life with my friends unless you're in front of me. I might tell you something personal, but over a text message, it's just too much to text. So when one of my friends, he had sent a post, he was at some bar, and the bar was wide open, dude, and no one was wearing masks. There were girls there wearing just G-strings. Like, they had skirts on, took their skirts off. It was weird. It looked like the end of times. To me, it looked like it was the end of times. Like, they was just dancing their way to hell. But all I seen was butt cheeks and G-strings. I'm like, where you at? He wasn't at a strip club, and he was at a bar. Like, this bar, and these people were it just seemed like they were stuck in quarantine for so long that they couldn't wait to get out. Wow. And they were just sitting there shaking and dancing.
Didn't know how to act, huh?
Yeah, didn't know how to act, right. And I'm sitting there recovering from COVID, almost died, and I seen that, and it just that's when I sent the text out. I was like, man, I hope you guys just be safe, because you don't want to get what I got. And I know there's different variants of COVID. Yeah. There's different strains of it, and so some people get it, it's mild. Some people get it, they don't even know they have it. Me, thinking me taking vitamins, semi-healthy, I'm aware of nutrients and know how to,
of course,
take care of your cleanliness and stuff like that. Got it, and I got it bad. So when I saw that picture, I was like, that's when so a lot of people are like, oh, you really? I go, yeah, dude, it was bad. I had to call 911, and they won't take you unless you're literally purple.
Wow.
Yeah, they won't take you in because there's really nothing they can do. Because the next step, if it gets so bad, the next step is they have to send in that respirator for you to breathe.
Yeah, I heard that does a little more damage than what it does help you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I had a customer of mine. I was telling my story when I went back to work. One of my customers, his coworker was in the hospital for 3 months. 3 months on a respirator, man. And but yeah, so a lot of people were calling me and concerned, and I just gave them my testimony, man. Like, hey, dude, me being on this podcast, I've had guests on, people coming with masks, and I do try to keep my social distance. And obviously I don't have the whole where I can do testing and all that, but
of course,
I trust the person that is here has social distance and is taking care of his health.
Of course, of course.
Obviously you can't. I've already had it, so you can't get it from me. I mean, I'm already, not contagious of this, so we're good here.
Yeah.
It was, but the experience alone, dude, it has changed me as a podcaster, because bringing people in and be like, oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm healthy. If I get it, I'll probably just get sick for a couple days. And then it went from that to like, I got it, and I was like in the room for 14 days. I mean, it's crazy, bro. I mean, I could talk about the experience all day long, dude. It was something where I won't get. Again, I'll get the vaccine. And I know I used to be against anti-vaccine. Yeah. People are anti-vaccine. They're just killing you. It causes autism, and there's cancer things in it and all this stuff. But you got to realize how do we get rid of measles? How do we get rid of what's the other one? Measles, chickenpox. How do we get rid of those? We got it through vaccinating everyone.
You're right, man.
And now I heard it's starting to make a comeback.
Yeah,
I heard measles and chickenpox are starting to make a comeback because a lot of parents are anti-vaccine people now. They believe vaccines cause autism. I mean, obviously
some of that shit is resurfacing now.
Yeah, so a lot of that old stuff's resurfacing because people ain't vaccinating their kids. But that's how we eliminated it.
No, in the first place.
Yeah, there's a vaccine. Yeah. So, I want.
That's not to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm sorry. My apologies, man. That's a tricky little situation, man, because I am against vaccines, but I haven't always been that way. That's the catch. Mm-hmm. And when you say it like that, like, yeah, we have started off. That's how we, put it into chicken pox and measles and other stuff out there, diseases, And when you think about it that way, you're like, damn, it is needed. But maybe at that time, because time changes things. So maybe at that time, according to how they push the world forward and everything in their agenda, maybe there wasn't so much on it as far as putting something in the vaccine to cause all this stuff, to population control, all the stuff they may be doing now. Because population has, excuse me.
You're good.
Population has, of course, got out of hand. You know what I mean? Back when the chicken pox and the measles and all that stuff was around, I bet you the population on Earth was a little more less than what it is now.
Yeah, it was less.
People wasn't multiplying and reproducing as much. So who knows if that shit has changed as far as what they do for the vaccine. And why people might feel that way. I'm not getting vaccinated. Even why I might not feel that way now. You know what I'm saying? So you never know, you know? But when you say it that way, it is something to look at, man. It's just like, you got to, like, I don't know. You got to pick and choose your battles.
People don't trust. I mean, people don't trust the government. A lot of people are against the government. Blah blah blah. But hey, you know, we need someone to govern us, dude. Because if not, it's Sodom and Gomorrah out in the streets.
Exactly, man. And really, man, you know, for me, how I live my life, you're supposed to, how I feel, you're supposed to be able to govern yourself. But most people,
they can't.
Mental illness, all type of things, but they can't govern themselves. Like you said, it'd be Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? We see it. Look when it's right now how it is. It's still getting out of control. So imagine then. You know what I'm saying?
You think it seems like it's getting more crazier because we have technology now, like such as social media. We got Grindface and you know, hip hop, World Star, and we get to see a lot of stuff like that happening.
You know, it's funny, Steve. I'm glad you said that, man. I have a big take on technology. You know, it's here. It's advanced so much from, you know, we went from IBM computers to, you know, first models to that, to now Apple this, Apple that. Apple right now is the main leading product and source of technology in the technology world, right? And how I feel about technology, man, it's built for convenience, right? Everything is convenient about it, right? That's the catch. It's convenient, but it's also taken away from interaction between humans. I don't like that part about the technology because I don't like the part that, yeah, you could FaceTime and yeah, I could do everything from the palm of my hand and have a whole thing going on in the palm of my hand and be distant from people. But when people actually meet up, what that does too, if people do it so much, when you actually meet up in person, people have social awkwardness, social anxiety. They don't know how to really be amongst people. It causes that. And I see that a lot going on in the world. And those are some of the mental health issues that we face because of technology. You know what I mean? What you think about that? You know?
Oh, man, you're right on. I mean, I just got done watching the movie Avatar with my kids. My daughter's 8, my son's 12. And Avatar was like when we were a little bit younger, right?
Of course.
I'm 40, you're 40, right?
I'm 40, I'm 39.
So, like, what did it come out, 20 years ago? We were 20.
Yeah.
So
and that was a deep movie, man, by the way.
It was a deep movie.
Deep.
Getting there. So when I showed it to them and, like, they were connecting with the plants and all that and the plants and the horse and the dragon where you could plug in and just be as one and being the whole world was alive. You know what I mean? Everything had a meaning to life. And
God made Earth perfect, man. Everything on here is mathematically and meant for us. We didn't have to do all this technology,
dude.
You know
but
what I mean?
But it is when going back to when people get together, it is better. Like when I see my friends, if I could text my homie, it's cool. But when I get with my homie and we hang out and we have a good conversation, I'll still get goosebumps to the day. If it's just me and my boy, I haven't seen him in a while, we talk about it. We don't see each other in a while. We pick up where we left off. And we'll have conversations where, like, man, he's speaking truth, and, like, I'm getting goosebumps, and, like, we don't get that no more because of technology. We don't get that because we're Zooming. And I mean, like, for example, my kids should be at school hanging out and meeting their kids, but they're stuck at home because of COVID.
Yeah, and even that, man, you know, this COVID, man, like how you said that, I feel like it was designed. Like I feel like COVID, okay, you call COVID, I know people in my family call COVID, right? It's real to an extent, but I think it's blown out of proportion also. As far as on a big base, I think it's blown out of proportion. And I think from that perspective of the kids not being able to go to school and all that, I think it's causing other stuff that they want that to be able, you know what I mean? Because it's causing that. Now they're doing online
You need that
school.
interaction.
Yeah, yes, you do. You do, man. We're put here for that. You're put here to feel in touch and use all senses. You know what I'm saying? You do. You do, man.
Yeah, good thing with my kids. My kids are really good when meeting new people and being interactive because you teach them, you know, you talk to them. And when the parents are on the phone, on Instagram or Facebook all day, laying in the bed, you know, with the TV on, and your kids are running around and they're playing video games. I mean, what kind of damage you think we're doing? What's the long run?
Yeah.
So what'd you say? Social
awkwardness.
Social awkwardness.
You know, like mental health is real, man. Like I study that. You know, I study the psych, the mind. I've been studying the mind for years. Like I could have got into psychology. You know what I mean? Because I've been how should I say? I've been through a lot of different natures in my life where
Yeah.
the mind had to been implied. You know what I'm saying? So I'm big on psychology and stuff. And when you see the effects of the technology and what it does to the kids and how the social awkwardness, you'll be like, whoa. Like me. Matter of fact, shout out to my wife, Desiree Barlow. That's my wife.
What's up, Desiree?
Yeah, but I said that to say this. You know, with our kids, we try to minimize the time with iPads. We try to minimize the time with their, like my son is 12, he has a phone. We just got him like a phone 2 years ago. But we control his internet. So we can see, he has to ask us for internet and all that type of stuff. He don't get to just roam or nothing like that, you know? And on top of that, he only gets a certain amount of screen time. Like he might like get like 3 hours of screen time a day, if that. I'm on it. I'm like, how long he's been on it? My girl would tell me whatever. I'm like, all right, man, tell him to get off it and go outside and have some nature.
Go outside.
I'm that type of guy, man.
too.
Because
Me too.
that's important, man. Because sometimes when I let him stand up all day, because look, here we are as parents, right? My girl used to say, we'll do this. We'll have a brand new baby, or you have a 3-year-old newborn, whatever, right? And you don't want to be bothered, so you give it a freaking iPad, and it's occupied. Now you can go cook and do all that. But at the same time, you fucking hurting the baby's eyes. Screen time is
Holding it up.
the frequency wave, the waves that's coming through it. Like it's a lot of stuff that it's doing that we're not conscious of.
We're
you
not
know?
conscious. We don't know the long-term effects.
Yeah, and when you look at it from that level, me studying, when I look at that, I'm like, whoa. Even me, man. Like, you know, I don't have social media no more. I deleted my social media about what? It's been like what? We're in 2021. I deleted my social media like end of 2019. No, 2020. It's like early 2020.
Okay.
I had social media, all that. I had Instagram, I had Facebook and all that, but I started checking myself on the time I was spending on it. And I wasn't spending the time on it correctly. You know what I'm saying? And I caught myself, so I deleted it. I went as far as my lady's like, you could have just deactivated your account. I'm like, nah, I never want to come back to it. You know
I
what
did that Facebook years ago. I deleted my Facebook account because all I was doing, I was on it all the time. And I would see my coworkers doing things, and so I see them at work. I wouldn't even say anything to them because it was like I saw what you were at the ball game yesterday, or you're at Benihana's yesterday. So there's really nothing to talk about because you post everything you're doing.
And that's the catch.
So I raised it, and one dude came up to me. He goes, "Hey man, did you kick me out of Facebook? Like, did you unfriend me?" And I said, "No." And I go, "No, it was an older cat too." A coworker of mine, and I was like, no. I go, I didn't. I go, I deactivated it, or I erased it. He goes, why'd you do that? I go, because I was always on it. I wasn't talking to you guys. I'd see what you guys are doing, and wouldn't need to come into work and talk to you. Wouldn't need to call you on the phone because I just go on Facebook and your birthday party and this and that. It's like, dang,
Wow, that's deep. See, I'm glad you said it like that, Steve. That's actually deep, man. You're right. When you're doing it that way, man, look at what it does. It takes more from the interaction. Like you said, you already see everything they're doing. So why do you need to call? We'll shoot the shit and talk about it. That takes interaction away. And what that does on a bigger scale, to me, it takes the love out the world. That's what's going on right now. Technology is taking the love out